Do you think that the talent in the WWE will be protesting out in the streets, wearing masks, carrying signs now that one of the developmental talents has tested positive for the virus? The state of Florida is set to be the new epicenter of coronavirus. Did we determine whether or not that Bucky Beaver did say no masks or not? Is that's being called into question or dispute?
Well, I saw a series of tweets, and forgive me for forgetting the reporter's name, but it was a reporter from, I think, Orlando, and he said that he spoke to some of the limited fans that were allowed in to the taping, and they said that they weren't.
No, wait a minute. That's friends and family. A limited amount of friends and family.
Friends and family, that they said they weren't dissuaded from wearing masks. So other people may have been told other things.
Well, wouldn't friends and family want to make sure that they covered up the real wink wink story?
Again, I don't know. I've heard a couple different things, but it is noticeable. And AEW too. They have everyone sitting right next to each other, no face masks. I think it's that's problematic, especially when Florida is seeing such a spike in coronavirus.
Well, I'd like to, malign Kevin Dunn for any possible reason, but if he didn't really say that, it was reported that he said, Kevin Dunn said, if you don't wear masks, you're not a wrestling fan. But that sounds like something Jericho would say if you don't like his matches. But I can believe, when you know a dipshit, and a dipshit has a history of saying dipshit shit, then you can believe it when dipshit sounds like a dipshit. But we won't indict him here because we don't know for sure he said that. But it's just awful funny that there wasn't any masks anywhere. Because when you look at the AEW crowd, there's some masks. As a matter of fact, wasn't Jake? Jake was wearing a mask. Wasn't Arn and Tully? I think somebody else was wearing a mask. But I can see Vince being like Trump. Oh, it's weak, or, I don't want to remind him of that, or whatever. I'd like to see, can anybody get a picture of Vince McMahon wearing a mask? Into a building, out of a building, is he going to the tapings now? He's got to be going to the office. I want a picture. I'm putting a bounty out on a picture of Vince McMahon wearing a mask. I bet it won't happen. I bet he will not wear a mask. But, I liked AEW's approach with what was it, QT Marshall's gym in Georgia, where it was just a few people they'd driven in. There weren't a lot of, there wasn't a lot of contact with people going through major airports. They had a good setup there. I think everybody should have felt good. Now they've apparently been given the real tests and doing the real tests. Okay, they've got an outdoor arena. They don't have a fucking air system recirculating the same disease-ridden air. So, okay. But the WWE, not only they bring everybody in, they start giving them the real test after at first they were just taking temperature, right? They give them the real test, and then they test one positive. And then it shuts them down for what they had to cancel part of their day of taping while they figured out what to fucking do. But I think they ought to... Why wouldn't they have people wearing masks? Because here's another thing. You can still make noise with the mask, but now a lot of these people that they're having at ringside, especially at AEW, they're putting their top guys out there. I don't want to see the top guys being an audience for fucking tomfoolery. Trainees and underneath talent and fucking, paraphernalia, hangers on. The periphery of the extra referees, whatever, that's great, but not. So if you're going to put the top guys out there, let them wear masks. Remind everybody to be safe at home. Because I'm telling you also, that's going to be the new hate crime, Brian Last. People that don't wear masks over their snotty fucking nasty mouths. Because I feel like popping these motherfuckers when they walk in a post office behind me. If they get more than 6 feet away from me, I've had twice now. I've had to remind an absent-minded motherfucker, and he was closer than 6 feet to me. They take it well, but I'm waiting for the day that one doesn't. If he ain't wearing a mask, I'm going to have to kick him in the nuts rather than hit him in the face. I'm afraid his slobber will get on me. But that will be the people that aren't wearing masks and don't have consideration for other people are going to be starting to be pummeled in the fucking streets. Mark my words. Anyway, I don't know what they ought to do, but I wouldn't be happy about going through the fucking Orlando airport if Florida is about to be the center piece of the new epicenter, rather, of the pandemic. I think they ought to show reruns when wrestling was good.
Hey, I found the tweets I was talking about. The reporter's name is John Alba. Multiple fans in attendance at Monday's WWE tapings tell me they were not told they couldn't wear masks. Several reports in the last 24 hours have indicated they were told they couldn't wear them. WWE released a statement about the matter, but the fans, I guess, told him that they never felt pressured by WWE not to wear a mask for TV purposes or other reasons. But again, like you said, if they're friends and family, who knows about the statement?
Well, and whose friends are they? Whose family are they? I don't know if I'd even trust all the members of your family.
No, my family are good people. I'm reading down this thread here. One individual told me the waiver included a liability clause in the event they contracted COVID-19 at the taping. They wouldn't hold WWE liable.
What?
While others could not confirm that. So there's another rumor that...
Wait a minute. I call bullshit on that. If you are going to open your place of business, whether it be a restaurant or a hair salon, as we've heard so much about, everybody's anxious to get their hair cut or whatever, or a put on a show of some kind. No, if I go there and get a goddamn deadly illness, it's your fault, motherfucker. Fuck you. But you actually expect people to go to see something that you are running as a business, but if they catch something that they die from, fuck it, it's not my fault. Fuck you. And that's the case, then they need to be compensating the people in their crowd. Then it's a different story. Already, as I mentioned, All Elite Wrestling has the highest paid fucking crowd in wrestling. I saw guys I know was making six figures a year sitting in the fucking crowd acting like fans, which is the best place for most of them. I think they ought to start being like that AWF that opened up back in the 90s or whenever, and they just paid the fans to come. So they paid 1,000 fans $50 a piece to come watch their big TV tapings. So that meant the house was negative $50,000. I think if you're going to make people sign a waiver that says you're not responsible if they catch an illness at your production, you should be compensating them for their risk. Doesn't that seem fair to you?
It does. Well, here's a positive addendum to this story. AEW has been testing everyone who is working or attending those shows in Jacksonville. WWE hasn't been. But as of yesterday, this same reporter, John Alba, says, sources indicate to me WWE offered free on-site testing for the friends and family of talent who were invited to attend its TV tapings this week on the heels of yesterday's mass testing. If they chose not to get tested, they wouldn't be able to attend. So that's a step in the right direction.
Oh, good Lord. It sounds like it's just a pain in the ass to do anything anymore. I said we're going to have some fun being grumpy. Well, by God, we're going to find there's a cloud in every silver lining, and we're going to find it. Bill Maher said on Real Time, which, by the way, sucks without a studio audience and a live panel also. And he's actually just kind of fucking walking through it anyway. But he said, once that everything gets back to supposed normal, and after all this is over with or whatever, he said it still may not go back to, because there are going to be some people, contrary to popular belief, there are going to be some people who go, you know what, this ain't bad. And I'm one of them. I don't need to go out in public now. I don't need to be around fucking people, especially with my phobias and various concerns. And I'm quite happy I don't get bored. I have never been bored in my life. And right now I have enough things that I want to do that I'm afraid I won't live long enough. I never get bored. I never crave social interaction. And I'm pretty much deciding, I think that, yep, I can do this. Post office in the morning, boom, right back home for good. So, he was mentioning that for a lot of people, that is an option. I see all these people, I can't wait to go out and get a haircut. What the fuck? Nobody's going to see. I haven't had a haircut professionally since February. But since nobody sees me except people at the post office, I don't give a shit. Remember, I cut my hair with the fucking dog's poopy butt trimmers not long ago.
Although that would be a really impactful way for your AEW debut if you show up with longer hair and facial hair. You finally have lost it. Oh my God, I've never seen Cornette look like this before. He's really losing it.
I look like I just came out of a cabin in Montana.